honest, it's interesting that you mentioned Mo Salah and Kevin De Bruyne. You'd probably say on their day, that's the two best players in the Premier League right now. Yeah. Honestly speaking, and the question goes to you as well, John Obi, when you watch them back in the day when the standard at Cobham was so high, did you ever envisage that they would go on and achieve what they've achieved? Be honest.
Absolutely not. No chance. And actually, it's my one disappointment actually as captain, because I go at the time, and I think I adapted over time as captain. So I think I softened the later the years went on. I think those early years when those guys were there, I was probably very strong, very disciplined on the group and how we done things. Actually, that was probably the first sign where they needed probably an arm around their shoulder, a sit down and a discussion of could I've maybe helped them settle in. So actually from those two players specifically to the levels they've gone, I'm disappointed in myself as captain. And I think that's a regret that I have and I'll never be able to replace again. I'm delighted that they've gone on to be what they've been. But I think on reflection, I would have liked to have adapted. But I wouldn't have said they would have gone to the level.
No, definitely not. But I think it wasn't just you, JT. I think back then we look at their levels as well. I think if you can agree with me, I think Kevin De Bruyne wasn't the best trainer back then. He wasn't the best trainer. He was somebody that, he comes to training, probably just because he wasn't playing that much. He was always head down. He was always angry. He was stubborn. He was like, he was like a kid who came to the playground and nobody wants to play with him. And we remember when Samuel Eto'o had a go at him. They had a massive fight on the training ground just because he wasn't putting in the effort that Samuel Eto'o wanted. And they had a massive row on the pitch. But back then, like you said, we didn't expect them to be where they are today. But credit to them, they've gone away and they've done what they had to do. They've improved. They've become who they are today, superstars. I mean, when I watch Kevin De Bruyne play today, I'm like, is this the same guy? But
incredible, absolutely incredible. And I think as well, obviously, I went in the coaching at Aston Villa and see a different side of how to deal with players and that I did as captain and everything. And I think as they were both wingers, both wide men, I think as a wide player, like I was a defender, you were just in front of me. I think as us, we are very robust. Defenders are very robust, holding midfielders. You do your job, you give it to the better players and you kind of sweep up and you do that. I think as wingers, you go from being in the team for 5 weeks running, you're scoring, all of a sudden you don't score. Your confidence goes. I mean, look at Joe Cole in a similar position. One week he's there, the next week he's there, the next week he's getting after 20 minutes from Mourinho. And I think wingers and strikers are definitely like this as individuals throughout the season. They probably need that little bit of care, that little bit of comfort, and a little bit of reassurance as well. Whereas I think, like I said, I used to scream and shout at Obi constantly on the training pitch and in games. He could deal with it. But with my wingers, I was actually, as captain, I was a little bit softer, but I'm still disappointed that I didn't kind of give them enough time that they probably needed.